live crafting chat on Wednesday. If you're seeing the red live button up here, we are live. If not, you're on the replay. That's great too. Just type in hashtag replay. Let me know that you stopped by. And today, the other day, I was digging through some things and I found this little book that I started many years ago. I don't even know if Stampin' Up! Has it available anymore, or even if they have the refill pages available for it. If you're a Stampin' Up! Person and you know if they do or not, feel free to let me know in the comments. Hi, Karen. But this is a artist trading card little book, and let me see if I can open it. So it just holds the little artist trading cards in here, and you can see I've collected a few of them. And these were some that were from friends. And I think that's what's so cool about artist trading cards. I'm going to explain a little bit what they are in case you don't know. But these were from Stampin' Up! I like that they put their logo on things. Hi, Karen. No, I'm still kind of congested, and this cold medicine has me kind of just in a fog. Kind of at the draining. Everything is draining, which is not cute. But it is what it is. I've heard a lot of people are catching some kind of end of summer crud right now. So lots and lots of hand washing and maybe some vitamins too. I don't know. But you can see I have a lot more room in here. Now, other ways to store these. I have had a tin, and it's right here. I was going to say, where did I put it? A little tin right here. And I've been keeping cards in here as well. Now, this is not actually what this book looks like. This book is a chipboard book, which is cool because then you can let your art carry on to the front, the back, and the inside, front and back as well. So I have put some beautiful rice paper. That's what it is. Yep, rice paper from, this one's called Sign of the Times. And it is made by Ciao Bella, not to be confused with Cartabella. This is Ciao Bella. And the Ciao Bella ones are made in Italy, which I absolutely love. You had something in the beginning of the month. It was just a sinus and ended up being, oh no. Oh, well, I hope mine is not that. Hello to the Messy Palette. Welcome. So you can see I've taken this rice paper and decorated the front of this little booklet. I just literally did that a few minutes ago, so it's still kind of drying. This side got a little off kilter, but I'm okay with that because that's just kind of me in a nutshell. You can kind of see I've got the white showing here and less over here. I'm probably just going to add some ink and call it a day. And probably on the front, I'll use some chipboard letters or something and put ATC. I just thought it was kind of fun to have this interesting collage of letters and numbers in the background. And so artist trading cards, or what people call ATCs, are just small areas. 2.5 by 3.5 is the size. That's the standard size. And the reason for that is so that they fit in basically the baseball card protectors sheets. So if you have them that are too big, like one I received, this one, you can see it won't fit in here. It's just a little too wide. So I'm going to have to trim it down just a little bit. And if you want to cheat, if you can't remember the size, standard playing cards, so not the jumbo, just the standard ones, are the right size. Playing cards will fit into these pockets. And some people say, okay, well, this is not a big enough area for me to craft in. But that's the point. It's just supposed to be fun, something you can finish fairly quickly, maybe in a series. Maybe you're somebody whose attention doesn't hold long enough to complete a journal. I know that's why I usually have 20, 30, 40 journals going at the same time. And yes, that's a lot. But that's because many of them are in unfinished states. So that way I can quickly jump right back into them if I feel like doing that theme again. So this is just, a smaller area to allow you to create your art. And traditionally, you trade them so that other people than you, get to have a little piece of your art in their collection as well. And they're just like little fun, some people collect different trading cards, sports cards, whatever. So some people create their own, and you can trade the art and outfits. Perfect. All right. Ah, hello, Pina. Yes, you caught me live. There's Leah with Make All the Things With Me. Hello, hello. Yeah, it definitely is like a flat little escape. That's right. So, hi, Sherry. Hello and welcome. If you guys would do me a favor while you're here, hit that thumbs up, pour the coffee, tell everybody I'm live, do all the things. Now, there are stamps, like rubber stamps, that have little decorations on, or like little backsides for the cards. Sometimes they'll say what you've titled the collection. So this one was Coffee for Your Head. This one was funny because this was from a sweet friend of mine and we were both enjoying that song. So she made me a little coffee themed one and sent it to me. These are a great thing to send in Happy Mail. Sometimes people just put their name and the year and who they made it for. And you can see sometimes it's literally just the back of the card. So just a variety of ones. I've got a couple more I'm going to put in here and then we'll make one. Some of these have been stored in this little tin, but I do like this little booklet way a little better because then you can kind of flip through them and see what your collection is. Now I think these ones are ones that I have made. They are pretty fun, and I love that you get to keep a piece of somebody else's art. Some people will make them in a series, so maybe this one would be like bee themed, and you'd make, 3, 6, or 9 of them that are bee themed, and they can still be interactive. This one I made, it has a pocket, so this can come out. We could put a little note there. And yes, it still works in the protective sleeve if you're somebody who likes to keep them in a protective sleeve. There we go. I put little metal corners on these ones so it's catching on the sleeve. There we go, perfect. But you can see this little bit of eyelash trim is hanging over the top. I kind of like that. I did not put a back on mine. These ones, this one I did put just some of the cardstock or pattern paper. These ones are just cards, so I don't always back them. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. This one was from a friend. I don't remember who because she didn't sign it. I kind of like when people sign them if they give them away because then I can remember who they're from. I don't think I made this one either. I think this was from her as well, but again, no signature. I do like that pretty bird. Oh, there's an Alice in Wonderland. I think I have videos of some of these, making some of these way back when my YouTube channel was still growing. And not that it's not still growing, but in its very earlier days of growth, I think I made this one. And these I've been making for lots and lots of years, before even scrapbooking, just when people were stamping, like rubber stamping. There was Artist Trading Cards. There's also such a thing as prayer trading cards, coin. They're like, you use a coin shape, so a circular shape instead of a rectangular shape. Oh, see, the more dimensional things you put on these, they can be a little tricky to get in and out. I think this one initially had a charm on that little piece of string that was in there. It's come off. So that is a benefit of putting them into a protector, like a sleeve protector. The pieces are more likely to stay on. Now, these are not to be confused with pocket letters. Pocket letters are typically bigger. You can make a smaller one that's just one strip like this. And I mean, you kind of make them the same way, but it's a little different. A pocket letter is a full page sheet of these that all coordinate in one theme. And usually you put things inside the pockets, like little stickers or things, so that way when the person receives them in a Happy Mail, they can pick the pockets. And I do have videos on that as well if you're interested in more, learning more about that one. I love this one. This was some of those sparkly washi tapes on there. I think this one was from a friend. Very cute. Love it. I like how they're all just so different. And you can start by making like a master board and then cut them into this size. Or you can just simply start with playing cards, or you can cut down some cardstock or some paper that you have. It is a little nicer if the background is a little thicker, like the thickness of playing cards or even cardstock, so that it's a little more sturdy and kind of lasts a little better. And I think these ones I kind of made just a little series. Now see how they could be, I think this one was just a 2. But you could make a third one that has like the same style or some of the same colors. And that would be really pretty. And sometimes using, I think I used Tim Holtz paper on that one in the background. This one though, using like those planner stickers or like to from stickers can leave you just a little room to write, at least sign your name and the date. Hello Regina, welcome in. It is our Artistry Collective Wednesdays. We do a little channel hop on Wednesdays that our host is Christy from Christy's Crafty Cottage, brought us all together here. So if you are new and catching this, welcome. And after me will be Make All the Things With Me, Leah. And then after her will be Christy from Christy's Crafty Cottage. Okay, and you can also kind of play around with these two when you're putting them in your little sleeves here. Like maybe I want to save that spot for another Christmas one. And this one I kind of made like a little steampunk kind of a one. This can be a really fun way to play with new products that you might have as well. If you just want to try something little, maybe, you know, you don't want to work on something big. You just want to try out some sort of new paint or new stamp or new whatever you got. Okay. If you're following along with Shauna from Shanuki Art, she does the full deck challenge, and so she challenges her creative follow, and I'm not stuck with like a whole desk worth of Halloween or whatever. Not that that would be terribly bad, but yeah. So when you're doing these playing cards, you can do them in any order you want. Look at that. I have 6, 7, 8, all of the same suit. You don't have to work in any order. You can leave some of the cards showing or not. Totally depends on you and your crafting style. I like to kind of rough them up just a little bit with some sandpaper so that my glue and things will stick to them. You can also use gesso, white, black, or clear gesso, and put yourself a little primer down so that things will stick more easily to them. I don't know that I'm going to make 3, but I thought we would see what time allows. And just like junk journaling, there's really no rules with these, except for if you plan to store them in a booklet like mine or trade them, you kind of do want them to be the 2.5 by 3.5 size so that they will fit into the pockets. That's really the only rule. And if you make one too big, well, then it can be a journaling card inside of some other journal. Maybe not wind up being an ATC at all. We used to have swaps where every month you would make something for that month theme, and we would trade these with friends. Lots and lots of scrapbooking trading went on. Okay, so this same rice paper that I just used for the cover, I'm going to use on the insides as well. I love it because there's just letters and it's just kind of a cool color palette and what have you. But at the other end of it, it had this cool skeleton and some fun brains and a heart even. So I thought this would make a really cool card. And, you know, they don't have to be complicated. You can simply put this skeleton on here, maybe put some ink around it, and, you know, maybe a couple eyelets at the corners or something, and that can be done. You can call it a day. So if you just need a few minutes in your day with some quick gluing and pasting and whatever, a little bit of an art for your heart kind of a moment, this is a quick project that you can easily do. And who knows, maybe you will tie it into a bigger project later on. Maybe it'll fill some sort of a pocket in a journal, or maybe it'll be a happy mail for a friend. I just have some Mod Podge here that I'm gluing. You can use whatever glue you would like, but I'm using rice paper, and I just wanted to glue down this rice paper onto the card. And you can kind of see that we can see the 8 coming through there. I think that's kind of cool, kind of like it. And we can kind of see it there in the corner too. Yep, definitely don't mind that. Okay, let's see. Got my little bit of a sandpaper on here, my little dabber. You don't have to sand these. You can use scissors if that's what you prefer to do. But the sanding them just makes it come off so, so nice. If you're somebody who loves to decoupage, it can be really fun to decoupage onto these. I see people use, hello, Christy. I see people use pattern paper all the time, like sewing patterns. There we go. Sorry. Words are hard when you hit the live button. I don't know what happens. Still trying to figure that out. Yeah, it's great to see you too, Christy. Welcome in. So that is our wonderful hostess. She will be on after Leah, who is after me. I have no idea what the other ladies will be making, but I think that's kind of the fun of it. We all craft for about an hour. Sometimes Christy goes longer because she's at the end. We all are also on Facebook, and you can find all of those links and how to find us in the description here. I think I have it all set up. That is the one thing about YouTube. When you hit the live button, it's not just hit the live and you're live. It's a little crazy. You got to set it up a little bit, but it does definitely make it a little easier to navigate once the live is done. Okay, let's see. There we go. All right, so already that looks kind of cool in my opinion. And we can set this aside and we can do more or less to it if we want. I guess not less to it. You can do more. You can add more elements to it. You can sand off some elements. I think it's kind of fun that the playing card is kind of showing through there a little bit. Kind of looks like, whoa, what's going on there? Let's use some other areas of this. I think I want to do this other skull and then maybe the brain. So I'm kind of giving some Halloween vibes without changing everything in my workspace to Halloween. Again, this is just some matte Mod Podge. I usually do go over once I'm all done here with Mod Podge too, just to kind of seal them up a little bit. I did learn from Leah that it takes 28 days for it to fully dry. Gosh, seems like a long time. But I'm okay with that, especially in this instance. They're just going to be little cards. Okay, I'm going to set that there and try to figure out where. So I want to try to get this little skull kind of centered. But again, we're not really going for perfection here, just however it happens, it can happen there. There we go. And then I'll use this little sanding disc. Now, if you're new to the crafting world, this is just a dabber from Ranger Ink, and they make little sanding discs that you can change out onto these. This is also used as an ink dabber. I will put a link to my Amazon store in the description box if you're looking for them and don't know where to get them. You can find them there. I do get a few pennies tossed my way if you use my link at no extra cost to you, but no pressure. If you already find a store or somewhere online where you like to purchase all of your things, that's great too. The biggest thing I like to encourage you guys though is just to use the things that you buy. I don't know, I kind of created this like hoard because for a while there all the businesses were just going under, and I kept thinking, oh my gosh, all the cool places are going to be gone. If I don't buy it now, it's going to be gone. If I use it, it's going to be gone. But I've also come to realize that if I don't use it, then I'm not really seeing and enjoying it either. So, okay. And you can do fun things on top of this. We could put it through a texture fade and add some kind of embossing. We could put crackle medium over the top of it. We could stencil over these. Hello, Mary. Welcome in. we are making some artist trading cards, or what people call ATCs, for my stash. And we're just using some Ciao Bella rice paper. And these were just kind of some scraps I had laying around, and I wanted to use them before they got ruined, because sometimes, you know, when little scraps of these are just laying around. Oh, look how interesting that looks with the, I like the little card numbers in the background. You can kind of see it through the rice paper there. So that's kind of fun. And then we'll do that last one here with the brain. Now, of course, you don't have to do any one theme or the other, you know, who knows, maybe you get inspired by somebody who's making some kind of a mermaid project or some kind of a cat project. Maybe you don't even have cats, but you have a cat napkin or something, and you just want to do some little project. This is just super great. You can kind of one and done, get it out of your head and move on. Hello, Sharon. Hello, tomorrow. Okay, so just going to put this brain hopefully kind of in the middle-ish. Notice I did say ish. There we go. And, you know, there's another way you can make these as well. You could start with a master board and then cut these down to 2.5 by 3.5. So that way you just kind of have a fun collage to start with. You put some sort of focal point, or maybe a poem or a word, or you just enjoy the master board for what it is, the collage. Okay. I like to sand off my edges because it really does make a nice clean edge, and it means I don't have to try to cut around. If you're a cutter, that's okay. Like cutter on your paper. Fussy cutter. There we go. And I mean, you can go as much decoration on these as you want. You do kind of want to try to keep them somewhat flat, because the idea of them is that they would go into those sleeves. So the more bulky things that you put on them, the harder it will be to get them in and out of those. Okay, so you can see we have 3 already pretty interesting looking cards here, and that could be a series of 3 to go in my book. Let's see. Also, so I mean, say that was all I wanted to do today, totally fine. I have a scrap left here of a napkin that I want to do something with, but it really wasn't going with any of the journals that I have. So I can just quickly get out 3 more cards. And this is just a deck of cards that I have put into this tin. So that's why they're coming out in order, because I just kind of opened the deck of cards and put them in there. All right. Where did my sanding block go? Oh, there it is. All right, so we'll just rough up these edges, and then we'll put down what I have left of this napkin scrap. And sometimes it's just the act of getting the napkin in use rather than let it go to waste. So maybe you're doing some sort of a DIY project and you just use 3 of the 4 pieces of your napkin. And then you can, you know, just put it on some paper, or some sort of a fun backing like one of these cards, and save it for later. You could also use these as bookmarks if maybe you're not into collecting the cards or trading the cards. You could use them as journaling cards. So on the back we could put some coffee dyed paper, or just plain cardstock or whatever you have, maybe packaging paper, to make a writing space. Okay. And you can also kind of do them all at once if you're fairly coordinated. Like I could put all of the Mod Podge on there at once, but I do like to sand off the edges. So here is what I have left of this napkin. And I was just thinking if I just lay these down like this, see this one in the center is not going to get a whole lot, but if I kind of, I think I'm just going to do them one at a time. Try and get the birds on there. And if you don't want this cards, the card numbers and whatever showing as much as it is, you can also use acrylic paint, you can use gesso, you could put a layer of packaging paper or anything else underneath of there. I kind of don't mind that it shows up a little bit though, at least today. My mind might change tomorrow, and that's okay. That's what's so fun about making these cards, is that you can just kind of go wherever the art wants to take you that day, and have another play with it another day, or, you know, make something totally different the next time. Let's see. I definitely want that bird on there. There we go. And that shows his little bird house and some flowers. I don't think I got it. Oh, I did. Okay, I was going to say, I'm not sure I got it on the corners. And when I use a napkin, I want to be a little more careful when I am sanding this off, because the napkin is definitely thinner than rice paper. And if you use, instead of going like down, up, down, up, down, up, just go the way that the napkin is laying. So I'm just going down and then I'm bringing my hand back up, if that makes sense. That way we're not trying to lift the napkin while we're trying to get it to come apart there. You could also use a water brush and or a wet paintbrush and just go around the edges. Have a more torn look. Ah, Leah, thank you so much. She just did that. I don't even know what YouTube likes to call it. They have all kinds of fun little stickers and things that you can send. And if you subscribe to my channel, I haven't mentioned it much before, but there is some cool little emojis that you can gain access to just from being a subscriber. I have set those up. So if you decide to do that, I think I have like 1 subscriber right now. So if that's something you're interested in, there is some fun little perks to doing that. Okay, so look how cool that is. And then I like how each of these will be from the same napkin, but they will have a different finished look. Leah, I can't wait until you have those little things unlocked so I can give some fun ones back. Did you do, oh gosh, tent camping? See, yeah. Hi, Cheryl. I am a 30 amp camp kind of girl. I'm glamping. I have been spoiled. I met my husband in my younger 20s, and that's been quite some time ago, and he had a travel trailer already, so that really spoiled me on camping. And at this stage of my life, I don't think I could sleep on the ground in a tent if I really tried. I don't think he'd ever get me up at this point. So, and seriously, no joke. So yeah, I do like being out. Like I do like nature, but I definitely like my luxuries too. Like I like taking a shower. I like having a toilet. Ooh, I got a little heavy-handed with the Mod Podge on that one. But see how cool this one's going to be? This one's not going to have a bird, but it's going to have those flowers all around. We could maybe put some sort of a focal point, or we could do some ink, or a fun, maybe we'll put a flower there. Who knows? And I think that's what's really kind of cool about these, is that you can just kind of do whatever. If you just got a fun new die cut and you want to try it out, or a new stamp, or new paints, or maybe it's not new, maybe it's something you haven't done in a while. Okay, and see, my napkin is kind of coming off here because my fingers are getting sticky, and it's sticking to the corners. So be careful of that. I don't let it like alarm me too much, because I can always go back over and do what they call a double decoupage. which sounds really cool, but it just means that you just go over it again. Maybe you add in a different napkin for some fun effects, or maybe you're just going back over it because maybe it didn't stick there or whatever. We could put this in the corner here. A little piece that came off. Okay, there we go. Cool. Maybe you're inspired today because you saw somebody stamp and emboss and you want to try it out. This is definitely a fun and easy way to do it with no matter whatever theme you're already working on in your current journal or whatever. You don't have to be, you can be as little or not invested as you'd like, I guess is what's neat about it. And just about every single one you do will turn out differently, which I think is fun too. I hope everybody's not melting. I know it's been super hot in a lot of places in the world. We are having another kind of warm week here. Oh, let's see, that's going to be a lot. That's too much. Okay, there we go. End of August is usually pretty warm for the Pacific Northwest here in Western Washington. But we're not usually as toasty as some places, so, you know, can't complain too much, I guess, except for when you consider that not very many places here typically have air conditioning. It's kind of a luxury item around here because we don't usually stay too hot for very long. So most people go, oh, I'll just suffer through and not worry about it. And we've been in the high 80s, maybe low 90s here for the last week or more. Okay. I'm going to kind of dry off my fingers before I grab this next one. Okay, so what I think is cool is that in just those about a half hour's time, I already have 6 cards that are backed, and now I can kind of have a play, see what I want to do. And maybe that's all I had time for today. So, you know, maybe next time I didn't want to get out the Mod Podge or whatever. These cards are here and I can just decide if I want to add ink to them, if I want to stamp on them, if I want to add anything to them. And you can make them go, rather than the vertical orientation, you can make them go the horizontal orientation. Just remember, though, that typically the pockets for these, if they're going to go into a page pocket, it's designed for the vertical landscape. You're still in the last weekend of winter and you have sweat pouring down your face. Oh, no! It's a gorgeous day. They're in Queensland. They're going to the Gympie Country Music Muster. I'm guessing that's some sort of a festival. That's kind of fun. Okay. Now you can do these in fabric as well. So, you know, maybe you have little scraps of fabric. You can just use your Fabri-Tac or Mod Podge or gel medium, whatever you like to use, collage medium, to glue fabric onto this size of card. Okay, and so then as this would sit in a series, we could put one here, and then this little bit of flower in the middle. And maybe put some sort of a word in here or a poem or a quote or whatever. And then those would just slide into my little holder. And on the back, I would probably sign my name, put the year, and series of 3. So 1 of 3, 2 of 3, 3 of 3. And you don't really have to do that, but at least sign your name and put the year. That way we know who made them and when. Okay, so let's go back. I think I'm going to close up this Mod Podge. I've had it open for a little bit now. It was very difficult to open. and kind of had this, you can kind of see it in there. It's got like a skin all the way around. I had to peel off a lot of that. So I thought, oh no, my whole jar has dried up, but no, it was just this top layer of gunk. Okay, there we go. These ones are still kind of drying a little more. Okay. So I think it's kind of fun. If I have things that look this way, I like to put them on this side so that they're directing you to kind of look back. All right, and those are really pretty dry. This was rice paper, so it dries quite a bit faster. And of course, I want to put some ink on there. And what better ink to use than frayed burlap, in my opinion. It is the go-to brown for me for sure. Ooh. All right. That was a little nod from Sharon saying, throw away your scraps. So, you know, maybe, like I said, maybe you're somebody who wants to play a little bit in Halloween, but is still not really ready to give up the last days of your summer. So I kind of have both things out on the desk here. And it's totally fine. I think this is great too, because really I just have, I would technically consider this 2 layers because I have the card, which is coming from the bottom in there. And then I have my rice paper. Cool. And just adding a little bit of ink around the edges kind of gives it a little bit of kind of some contrast on the edges there. And if you have regular playing cards that you're using like mine, the ink typically will not stick on them unless if you've roughed them up a little bit or got some sort of a layer on there, or if you have used some gesso or something on there. So just know that. Oh, we are turning wonky. Sorry, guys. Ooh, you're getting your last 2 sets of mini oxides and tins. Yay, that's great. I don't know who Shannon Knoll is. Am I missing out, girls? Okay, and so you can just see how adding some ink kind of gives it a little spookier finish, I think. You just came back from holidaying in the Blue Mountains as well as Armadale. Is it Armadale? It was freezing. Oh, because you guys are in winter over there. So weird. So cool, though, that we can be chit-chatting both in summer and winter all at the same time. And today and tomorrow. Oh, she's not known here in the States. Okay, well, good, because I don't know who she is. That one needs a little more glue. I'll slip some glue under there. Oh, she was an Australian Idol. Very cool. And I think that is what's so fun about doing these lives is that definitely kind of broadens your knowledge of... Oh, she's a he. Whoops. Broadens your knowledge just all around. People talk about different things and you're like, what's that? All right, just going to put a regular little bit of glue under there. Now, some people might store these on a ring. So I know some people put like an eyelet or a hole up here, and then that allows them to be stored on a little ring. And you can definitely do that too. If you're going to store them out in the open like that, though, I would definitely try to put some sort of a sealer on them, either, you know, Mod Podge or microglaze or something like that, so that they're a little more protected. But you also want to put whatever sealer it is, you want to make sure it's fully dry before letting them touch each other, because they could stick to each other. And I'd be really sad to work on this beautiful collection and then have them get ruined because they stuck together. Okay. And I think in this corner of this one, I just want to drip some ink because it's kind of some spooky-ish stuff going on here. So this is Frayed Burlap Distress Oxide Spray. And I'm just going to carefully open it and kind of let it puddle right there until it drips down. Come on. There it goes. And maybe it only wants to drip just along the side. I'm okay with that. Kind of wanted it to drip most of the way down, and it kind of is. Oops. And you guys can't see. There we go. See, it's just kind of dripping along the side here. Yay, I said it correctly. All right, awesome. All right, let's do just a little bit more. That's kind of fun. Makes it look a little more worn on that side. Why is my stuff slipping around so much today? Goodness. Okay, we can also just like kind of do some little splattery stuff here. Now it's soaking into that rice paper. That's why it's giving this little, like, it's soaking into the fibers of the paper. Do some fun splattering. And of course we could turn the card like this and let it drip down this way as well. And we could just spray them, but I don't want to spray the area where the focal point is. And of course you could, you know, kind of cover that area if you want to do it that way. Now this up here is kind of interesting, but I think I still want to kind of cover it just a little bit with some ink. And it's no secret, I like frayed burlap, but of course you could use any color that's your favorite color. You could kind of outline it with some black, or you could use a Stabilo pencil and kind of color around the edges. There we go. I like how it's kind of soaking in and kind of looks like it's just curling around that focal point there. Okay. And since we're kind of playing with two different sets here, I'm going to scooch these ones up and just kind of let them dry a little bit. You could, of course, dry them with a heat tool. If I can, I like to let things just kind of dry on their own. I feel like I like the effects I get a little better when I don't rush it and I just let it kind of do its own thing. Now let's see. These kind of have a little bit of pink in them, and they're still really wet here at the bottom. At least that one is. So we could maybe ink with a little bit of pink. And then I could have a little play with some Nuvo. Let's find... Is this pink? No, that's red. All right, let's use one of my small little ink blenders. I'm super excited. I just got some new sponges for my old dabbers. Some of these ones are pretty old. I dug them out of a drawer, and I think these were some sponges that somebody made for me, and so they're falling apart pretty terribly. So I'm going to replace all of those with some nice new sponges, and that will be great. So, pink, where's the pink one? Here we go, we'll just use this one. I think almost every time I use one of those sponges and I get my whole lap covered in this sponge material, I keep thinking, ugh, I just need to get some new sponges. So finally, I just ordered some. I don't know if it's enough for all of the ones that I have, but it will definitely be a place to start. All right, I'm loving that. Just adding some more of that little bit of pink in there. And you can see that whenever you add ink, you don't always have to, some people say, oh, I don't ink because I don't like to grunge things up or make things look vintage. Okay, well, if that's not your jam, you're missing out, because the distress inks there's 72 different colors to play with. So, you know, just adding some fun pink or whatever color you're playing with. Red and green for Christmas, maybe. Maybe you like blue and silver for Christmas. All kinds of fun colors you can play with. All right, this one's still a little bit wet, so I'm kind of treading lightly down here so I don't put my sponge into glue. And maybe, you know, we lost a little bit of the pink color when we separated the napkin. I mean, you can see how big of a difference that makes just from, you know, one to the next. If you don't like adding the pink, you definitely don't have to. You could add a different color if you like. But I think it kind of looks great adding that contrast right back in there. And you don't have to do the same color all the way around. Maybe in this corner here, we want to use like a brown because that's where the birdhouse is. You love the pink. I kind of did too. Hi, Trudy. Welcome in. And, you know, I think it's really fun too that these cards are just so small and they finish so quickly that I can easily be playing with a little bit of grunge and Halloween and a little bit of still, well, it's the end of August and end of summer here. So, you know, maybe I'm not really willing to give up that end of summer just yet. And I can do all the things. So that's really fun. I need to put a little bit of glue right there. That one just lifted a little bit. And it's okay if these kind of come apart. You know, it's not as solid. The napkin is not solid, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And that's okay. It's okay if like down here it's a little bit torn and ripped. I don't mind that. Decoupaging is, you kind of get what you get on there. And sure, there's lots of ways you can make it better, but I don't mind those wrinkles. I think it's just part of the look. Okay. So let's see. I think I want to play with some paste. See what we can find here. That one's grit paste. I had these all out. Ooh, this one's glow paste. We could maybe put a little bit of some grit paste glow on this skeleton. That might be fun. There's the black. Ooh, there's the one I was looking for. This one's crackle paste, and I think that would be really cool over this one, especially that has the birdhouse. Okay, and it's translucent, so it'll still be see-through. I won't have to sacrifice my image at all, which is good to know. And we'll get our palette knife. Feels like October weather there. Oh my gosh. Not here. You're never ready to say goodbye to summer. Yeah. Oh, they're looking gorgeous. Thank you. Your daughter and you have been playing with the oxides, smushing and spraying with water to get paper hanging everywhere downstairs. Oh, that's lovely. I bet it is wonderful. Okay, so let's use some of these. You can see, if you haven't seen Tim Holtz's trick for helping to keep the air out of these, it is literally just using these little rubber bands around your jars. And the reason for that is the more air you can keep out, the longer you can hopefully keep your mediums alive here. And this one, again, is Crackle Paste Translucent. Tim just recently did a live on all of these mediums, and it was such a great refresher on what they do, what they don't do, how to use them, how to preserve them. I'm just going to go all the way over this because I kind of want it to just crackle all along. We could do it through a stencil. Also notice the way that you pick it up. A lot of us go to scoop things up like you would a spoon, and you don't want to put it on the top up here because then you'll have trouble putting it out on your cards. So if you scoop it up onto the bottom, whoops, don't get your other tools in there. Scoop it up onto the bottom of the palette knife. You can spread it a little easier there. Okay. And for the crackle medium, you kind of want to put it on a little bit thicker so that it will have areas to crack. What does the other side of the cards look like? They're just, these were just plain cards. So they're literally just the back of the cards. And like I said earlier on in the beginning here, you can put those with some coffee dyed paper. You can put regular paper back there. You can leave them like they are. You can do whatever you want to do with them. Okay, I think this one, I might try and put some crackle through the stencil. And I just have a little leaf stencil. I'll just put it right here. Again, scooping that onto the bottom of my palette knife. And we're just going to kind of put it over the stencil. Now, the cool thing about these products, the texture paste and everything, is that they are water-based. So that means it'll clean right off my stencil really nicely. I'll just peel that off there. Sometimes I forget to use these mediums because I don't like taking my stencils to the sink. I feel like I forget to do that, and I forget, or I leave them out there, or I leave them in here. But I am someone who likes to use ultra sensitive baby wipes, so it's mostly just water, and it just cleans right off. Don't forget to wipe the other side, though. I can feel it sticky on my hand. Now, I know some people, when they play with their stencils, they don't clean them, and that's okay. If that's how you like them, that's fine. I do like to try to wipe mine off just a little bit, especially so that they don't put any gunk on the next project. Some people take that extra gunk as just fun for the next craft. Okay, what should we do on this one? Maybe we'll just put some crackle just where the birdhouse is. All right. Now, you can heat this with a heat tool, but it could get too hot and bubble. So, again, the best way I like to let things dry is to just let it air dry. So, it won't be able to go right into the book, but that's okay. And then we close this right back up as quickly as we can so air can hopefully stay out. And the rubber band goes on to, again, help keep that air out of the medium. It is really sad when you have to throw away jars of medium because they are just ruined. So if by putting these little rubber bands on, I can save it for just a little bit longer, it is worth it. Even though my hands are a little weak, so it's a little frustrating to get the rubber band on the right place, but there we go. Once you got it, you got it. The idea is just to keep the edge a little more sealed. Once this crackle paste dries, you can then put ink over it again. Oh, also one thing I should mention is if you used water-based ink, which Distress Oxide and Distress Ink are water-based, underneath a wet medium, it might make it smudge just a little bit. So just know that going in. Not always a bad thing, but you might not want it to do that. And then some people will say, oh, I'm so mad, it all smudged. Well, it's because you didn't realize that water-based meant also that anything liquid you put over it will make it run too. Okay. There we go. So now we're back to these. I love the way that the frayed burlap makes this fun color as it oxidizes there. And this one is the Grit Paste Glow. And this is just a tiny little bottle. I think I got this in a set. So they do offer some smaller sizes sometimes if you're not sure if it's something you will use fully. Ooh, maybe this is the first time I've used this one. No, I've used some in there. Okay, I was going to say, what? I've used this before. Okay. And I'm going to get just a little bit, my palette knife here, and I want to press it just kind of into where those eye sockets would be. And this is grit paste, so it's, well, it's gritty. So it doesn't go on as smooth as that other paste did. So it's got a little bit of like, almost feels like baking powder in toothpaste or something. It's kind of got that. Or if you put sugar into frosting. Okay, there we go. Do we want our brain to glow? I don't know. Could be a fun glowing brain. I think Halloween, anything goes that's glowing. Leah, you got like 4 minutes, my friend. 4-minute warning. Okay, I'm gonna put this back on there. Hey, Tamara's here. Okay. So be sure to head on over to Make All the Things with me and see what Leah's got up her sleeve for tonight's project. And then after her will be Christy from Christy's Crafty Cottage, and that will conclude our live craft and chat on Wednesday for the Artistry Collective. If you're still looking for more, tomorrow Tamara and I will be on her page, I think both on Facebook and YouTube if technology allows, for Thursdays with Friends. And of course, we've got some kind of fun up our sleeve. We always do. And we would love to see you guys there. All right. I was going to put some, there it is, some eyelets maybe in the corner of this one. And I think we have just enough time to do that. Shenanigans will happen. That's right. Never know what kind. Last week, I went live on YouTube instead of on Facebook because that was just the way technology wanted it to go. So that's what happened. So if you don't follow me on both platforms, it's a good thing too, because sometimes I just have to go with the flow, and probably a mistake of my own lack of vision, but you know, sometimes it just happens. Okay, so this one, I'm just gonna put maybe an eyelet here and an eyelet here. Why? Well, because why not? Put that one there. And this one here. Now again, if you want to decorate the backs of them, put down your paper, whatever paper you're going to put on before you do your eyelets, so that way it'll punch through both layers there. But I'm just going to leave them the card back for now. Usually that tells me that, oh, this was part of my deck. Those are the ones that I've done. If I decide to send them to somebody, I will either put a little sticker or something that has who it was made by, whatever, so that they can know. And it's kind of how I tell. I love the way that that ink is just kind of taking over wherever it wants to on that rice paper. So much fun. I'm excited to see how that crackle paste dries. Summertime is a great time to deal with crackle paste and texture paste and all of those kinds of paste because it will dry on its own pretty good. Let's see, get in there. All right. Yeah, so we had just enough time to get these eyelets in there. Make sure you go and check out what Leah from Make All the Things With Me is up to for tonight. And then after her, see Christy from Christy's Crafty Cottage. And I'll see you guys next week here on the Artistry Collective Live Wednesdays. I would greatly appreciate it if you hit those thumbs up, like, subscribe, do all the fun things. Follow me on all the other platforms. You can find all that information down in the description box below. Bye, everyone.